What's going on, Black Pearl? Holla at your boy.
Okay, I'm finally on.
All
I'm
right.
I'm driving home from my sewing class. And what
Oh,
was the question?
the I'm on number three. It's past experience shaping modern views. The photo in the photo in the line in the on the screen is a black family sitting at the tables circa 1965, between 1965 and 1968. Um, I was just saying, do we have a time after the 1980s where we actually sat at the table as a family?
Um, Now are you talking about you and I
No,
family,
no, no. Just in general.
our
Just in
parents,
general.
or just in general?
Just in general.
Um, be honest with you, I had, but it was after the 80s. With me and my children and at the time my husband, we did sit at the table every night. Because I felt that that was a time that I got to see what was going on with the family. There's no interruptions of video games or TVs and stuff like that. So you got to really embrace your children at that time.
But
Excuse
you
me.
didn't let your kids play video games a lot, if I
No,
remember.
I did. Yeah, I did. And they had a certain amount of time they had to play. Well, one of the main reasons why that they didn't play as much because my husband was at the time my husband was a video game connoisseur, and at a certain time it was his turn to play without anybody being there. So yeah, they had a certain time that they had to be off of the game and they had to finish their homework. So yeah, so I had a structure in the home at one point, but you're right, there are a lot of homes that did not do that. The kids ate in their rooms, or um, one ate in the kitchen. Some children ate standing up because they were so busy trying to get somewhere else after eating, type thing. So the structure of in the 80s wasn't as structured as it was before that time, where you actually had to sit at the table. Now I remember when we were growing up, even though our parents didn't sit at the table with us, they still made us sit at the table.
I remember that very well.
Yeah, they still made us sit at the table. Um, and like I said, they may not have sat there with us, and it could have been because it was not enough chairs.
That's true. That's true.
So, but we had to sit at the table. It wasn't eating, and we didn't eat. I don't ever recall eating in my room.
No, of course we couldn't eat in our room. We didn't have enough
Yeah,
room to eat in the room. But
well,
that's
that too, but
another
I
story.
never remember sitting, eating taking my food anywhere past the dining room area. If we had a party and stuff like that, of course, you had snacks on the coffee table, but if you was eating, you was either eating in that kitchen or you was eating at the table. And the kitchen was too small for us to eat in anyway. But,
Yeah,
that's what we did. But I do see, and then now even today, there are still families are not eating together anymore.
right. And also with 69% of women having children before they have a husband. Um, Guys are afraid to get married because they don't want to take on the responsibility of somebody else's children.
Child, right, right.
And that, I mean, right, wrong, or indifferent, um, most guys want to have their own children with their own woman, and especially late 80s to now, that's getting those chances are getting smaller and smaller. So
Yeah,
they're letting their views are shaped by what they see, and then they are looking at it now like, man, I really don't want to do that. I don't want to accept this responsibility because it's not mine to begin with. Instead of saying, hey, I love this woman, I'm gonna love her and her kids. And as that's what's shaping their views to not go as much to get married.
right, right. But you know what? Nowadays, it's also the women. There are a lot of women who are not having children as early as um, before, where there was a lot of children, a lot of women having children at a younger age. So with this new generation that's going on and the way of people thinking, because they don't have any children, they don't want to be with a man who has children already.
Right, right. And
Because
a
they
lot.
don't want to take on that responsibility. I am one. Even though I have children, I have adult children, but I noticed that there are a lot of men out here who are in their late 40s um, to the mid 50s who still have elementary school age children.
I think that's
And
crazy.
it is crazy. And I thought it was like, maybe a couple here, a couple there, but I'm noticing that there are a lot of these men out here who are having a second life crisis or whatever, and they have grown children, and then they turn around and they have their oops babies, and then sometimes it's not just one oops baby, it's a couple of oops babies, as they would call it. And then you in your late 50s or your mid 50s going to 60s, and you have a 4 or 5 year old. Come on, really?
Yeah.
And you still seeking companionship from someone else who's already possibly already raised their children or didn't have any children at all, but then you trying to turn around and find love again. No, sit your tail down somewhere and take care of them children. Well, I ain't got time. I don't want My thing is this: I don't want to date someone at this age that I'm at. Proud to say I'm 54, about to turn 55 in a couple of months. I am proud to say that I have no small children. I have nothing but grandchildren. And with my grandchildren, I can give them back.
Yes. Yes.
So I don't want to deal with someone who has smaller children, because the time that you're spending with me, you could have been spending bonding with your child.
Right. I agree. I agree.
So don't come my way talking about, oh, baby, baby, baby. No, you need to go home to your baby, because your baby needs to be taken care of. And my thing is this: the money that you supposedly gonna be spending on me to please me and to make me happy is the money you could have been using to spend on your children, who are still needs that money for the school age that they are, because they're still growing, they still eat a lot, they still need taking care of, they still need tending to. You can't do that when you're with me.
Well, that's true. However, most of those guys and gals, because some of them be having babies, be 48, be having a baby. I'm like, but most of the times those people take into account, hey, I'm going to still have my fun. I'll do my financial part, but I'm not going to do much more, as far as much more than I have to. Not the right answer, but they should have thought that and had discipline on their pickle. Move,
Right.
move moving on. Number 4,